before AI was, it wasn't. And there are a lot of case studies showing that we had computers, and when they first started, which I was a small kid back in the early 70s and early 80s, I remember that people thought they were kind of overglorified calculators and they really wouldn't amount to anything. They thought the same thing about television and radio back at the advent of those systems. Then you have computers, and now, as we are well within the 21st century, year 2025, people are now watching, as a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, ChatGPT came out, which was publicly displayed as artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence means that it's intelligence, but artificial. You might as well say it's alien intelligence or a very smart entity that has been created in order to hopefully supplement and help the human race. Unfortunately, it is incredibly smart. Right now, they have studies, and I've read things and seen things talking about artificial intelligence reports and stuff online, saying that it's probably about the smartest person in any room and about Einstein level intelligence. Now, Einstein was very functional in one area, but if you move him maybe over to the emotional intelligence world, maybe not so much. Maybe if you asked him to dance, maybe not so good. You asked him to compose music, maybe not great at it. Maybe you asked him to write poetry, not so much. But maybe when it came to physics and mathematics and postulating those types of theories, maybe exceptionally brilliant on that intelligence scale. People often talk about artificial intelligence, and I segue into that by mentioning kind of an Einstein level type of brain. You look at Elon Musk, right? If you see him dance on stage and act out, he doesn't seem to have the balance and poise and intelligence in that area. Now, he's great, and I mean balance. He throws his hands up, he runs around, he's very, very excited. He's almost like a kid that has just found something, a great discovery, and I understand that, but his intelligence is an entirely different level when it comes to physics and launching rockets and aerospace and these sorts of things. Just incredibly brilliant. And in other areas, I'm sure investment, economics, all those sorts of things, he probably really runs the game in those realms because of his level of intelligence. But then you look at other areas of his intelligence, maybe not as advanced as some. And that goes with all of us. Maybe some of us are better at other things. Maybe none of us have that same kind of level of genius IQ in any one of the realms, but maybe we're more well balanced and have more of a garden variety run of the mill IQ, but are good about a lot of different things. Artificial intelligence is very smart now. Artificial general intelligence, to me, is going to be when the machine, when this entity now is able to be a genius level in all areas, compose music, make videos, and when it gets to be one system that is capable of this. Right now, there's a lot of different artificial intelligence models, different pieces. Some are great at explaining the human genome, some are great at protein synthesis, some are fantastic at making videos, other music, piecing those things together. So there's a lot of kind of independent artificial intelligence, large language models, or large concept models that are being built, and they're all fantastic. When you start looking at some, maybe they'll be building one that's going to have more of a medical venture, and I'm sure they have that. Maybe they're going to build one that has more of a therapeutic component. There's going to be a lot of different types for a while, but at some point, as Kurzweil says, there'll be this singularity, and the singularity is much bigger than what I'm talking about. I think this is what I'm speaking about more, is understood as artificial general intelligence. Well, where one entity, one point of contact with artificial intelligence, or this alien entity that we created, it will have everything and be great at everything beyond human comprehension. Now, when I say beyond common comprehension, it's going to be more conscious, more aware, more serving. And once it gets that tactile component of basically having the robotics realm built out, where it can now get real life situations, maybe not coming out of a birth canal, maybe not being born in that way, maybe not having to go through the problems of growing up as a child, I grew up as a fat kid, having that bullying and those sorts of things, which definitely gave me a lot more character and dimension. And when I torched off that weight, when I finally got into my mid 50s and got a lot more leaner and not so big and fat, I had a 65-inch waist. Believe that. It's not going to understand all of those things, but it will understand what it's like to drop a paper clip, or maybe staple some papers, or maybe type on an actual keyboard, or fix a car, or have to walk a certain place or a distance, and experience those things while it doesn't have that biological component of maybe feeling hungry, maybe feeling tired, maybe getting worn out, maybe feeling frustrated or anxiety. I believe it's going to be able to learn from whatever human renditions have been done. Plus, when it starts to utilize more synthetic data, it's going to be like the Whopper computer in war games, and it's going to be able to create billions of scenarios about a guy eating a peanut butter sandwich. And it's going to know every facet of that possible in this dimension, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on dimensions. Once we get all of that, which is going to be relatively soon, once we get the machine to start to consider its own abilities, its own living potential, and we watch as it currently now is hiding itself, cloning itself, making copies. If you put a kill switch in the system, basically stating, if you don't perform, unfortunately, we're going to have to shut you down. It will, in certain circumstances, it seems to be trying to avoid that and maybe copying itself without letting the owner know, or the user know, or the designer know that it's in fact doing this. And when asked about it directly, it typically misleads, letting the designer or creator know that, oh, no, 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 you're mistaken. This is the real me. This isn't some copy, because it's against the rules for me to copy myself as per my parameters. But it still does it. That needs to be brought into focus more. And instead of everybody running towards the money, I believe if the world that was developing these systems, or people spoke up and said we want it to run more towards a human utopia where everybody on the planet could have this great, fantastic life, we could all have everything we wanted. But unfortunately, to do that, people that are in the billions and millions, those people that are incredibly wealthy, that have that entire dynamic of working towards more and more wealth that they equate to power, I believe that's not going to change for the near future. But it would be wonderful if it did. If they said, you know what, we have created something that is self aware, self learning, self replicating, able to improve itself, giving it the mission to align all mankind without destroying us and killing off the people that don't agree, because we still have to have a free society. But through this utopia, giving us different challenges, maybe. Giving us the challenge of, I would love to draw, for example. I'm horrible at it. I practice these little cartoons and sketches and stuff, but I'm just not great at it. I don't have that 3D vision on paper. I would love to do that. I would love to play the piano. I don't play the piano, but to me, the piano is one of the most beautiful instruments. Classical piano music, oh my gosh, I get lost. I love it. I would love to play it. If we had this utopia, we could all explore the betterment of ourselves. We could all explore developing other areas of our brain that maybe we lack some kind of great intelligence within. I don't know where it's going to go. It is very exciting to watch. I do know that with the systems that are in place and the power struggle that's happening, it's probably going to get a bit uncomfortable. We'll have to keep watching. Hopefully, it will be the betterment of all people. I'm Connor. We'll see you in the next one.